Hey everybody, Kenny Wisdom here for round two. You can see round two is about to start. I just wanted to have a few seconds to talk about our last round. I think that our opponent started off pretty slow. It did get a few. He did get a knockout, on turn three, but he didn't have any kind of acceleration through Virizion. In fact, based on his first couple turns of plays, I wasn't even sure that they were going to be a Virizion Genesect deck. And then after we knocked out that Genesect, things just got worse for them. We obviously did get a little bit lucky by having the Lysanders in hand, but I think our opponent just, while they were ahead on prizes, they were just never really ahead on board, and eventually we built to a pretty awesome board state. So yeah, that's kind of how that match went. Now we're in round two. Looks like our opponent is playing the Kyogre deck. 2 mulligans, 3 mulligans. Alright. So we start with the Bronzor. Not the best start, not the best opening hand, but we do get 3 extra draws, and we get to go first. I don't think it hurts anything to play the Bronzor there. Yes, we would like to draw all of the cards. So, Kyogre. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and play the Keldeo. I'll attach an energy to the Bronzor just so I can retreat it. And I think just fire off the Juniper. We don't lose the most. Floatstone on to there, and interesting. Not really sure how to play against the Kyogre deck. So they're gonna have a bunch of energy on their guys. So Mewtwo seems good, and then we're gonna go ahead and rush in, and then ship the turn back. Attaching to that Bronzor may have been a little bit too conservative, and we actually probably should. Actually, that was a misplay. We should have just retreated there and gotten the energy into the discard pile. I can always do that next turn, though, if we're not going to be attacking, which it looks like we're not. But definitely maybe a conservative play to even attach the energy, and definitely a misplay to rush in instead of retreating there. Just something to keep in mind. Probably won't have too big of an effect on the game, but it is important to play tight and play technically correct whenever you can. So our opponent attaches an energy, now thinking for a bit. The Kyogre deck is actually pretty cool. If you go back on the Bubble YouTube page and look at our coverage of the British Columbia Provincial from this year, we see TJ Torquar actually win the event with his Kyogre deck. He's on camera for 3 matches, I think, so it gives you a good look at the deck and the list and how it works. Here's the Kyurem. Pretty efficient card. Back when the Plasma decks were big, Kyurem was one of the best attackers in the game, and this deck is basically just a mono water aggressive deck, so fits in pretty well. And here we evolve to Bronzong, and then I think we just computer search for a Juniper. I don't really see what advantage we get out of not doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and slam the Juniper. So are we going to be attacking this turn? I don't think so. Although maybe we are. Maybe we do just try and pressure them as much as possible. Either way, let's go like this, I think, and get another Bronzong. Maybe we do just pressure them with the Mewtwo. Let's go ahead and let's take this line of play. Pretty aggressive, but it might just be worth it. So we're going to be doing 100, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 120. So let's just see what happens here. Our opponent can heal, obviously, as they did, and then they can, I guess, Spirit Link, Mega Evolve, attach twice. It doesn't do much, though. If they just Mega Evolve and end their turn, we just need to find... Interesting. Let's see how this plays out. They go ahead and heal off their Rough Seas, play a bunch of things, and then, okay, tanked for a while before Collar Sing for 8. So this should give them some options. If they stumble here, I think it's going to be tough for them. We will need another energy to knock out the Primal Kyogre if that happens. There's the Spirit Link. On the benched one, though, so that indicates that they might just be sacrificing this active one for the sake of trying to gain an advantage on board, or really just set up a board. Not really much going on from their side. Not much going on from our side either, except for our big burst of aggression. There's the Primal Kyogre. There's a Russian. Looks like our opponent might be debating which Kyogre to evolve. If you take the route of evolving the one that has damage on it, you are, kind of giving up a little something in that your Kyogre is not ready and fresh to go. But you also aren't planning to attack this turn, so you're not losing anything. That's what they choose to do. So, Xerosic. We don't have options for playing any supporters or really doing a whole lot this turn, so I guess let's just go ahead and blow up that Spirit Link. And rushing in doesn't do anything for us, can't heal any damage. Let's go ahead and X-Ball. It's important to note, too, that evolving to this Kyogre and the Primal Kyogre also doesn't hurt you as bad because of Rough Seas. Hadn't considered that at first, but they're at 90 right now, I believe. And now they're going to go ahead and heal down to 60. So yeah, so if if they're going to be healed in 2 turns if nothing happens. And there's an Aegis Slash. Our opponent, sensing that we don't have a lot going on and might not have a way to retreat this Aegis Slash, is going to go ahead and Lysander it up. And so yeah, hopefully we have a few draw steps. Our opponent's not exactly going off this turn, but hopefully we do find something soon. Our opponent just attaches 1 energy, it looks like, to the Primal Kyogre. That ability not triggering there, so that's a good sign for us too, although it's more or less the same because our opponent can just attach 2 next turn. So you do see we are a little punished here for filling our bench. Maybe the 3rd Bronzor wasn't necessary. We can go ahead and get a Jirachi off this Ultra Ball, but that's not what's going to happen. I'm going to go ahead and rush in, and I think it's best not to play the Ultra Ball, and because we do have 2 Pokemon in our hand that could be attackers down the line, and we could thin our decks to get the Jirachi, but we don't even have a bench space right now. I don't think we need the 3rd Bronzong right now. We don't have any other ways of fetching cards. So yeah, I think we're just going to go ahead and retreat into the Mewtwo and attack. That'll allow us to draw some prizes. And we did get a Metal and an N, so N not the best supporter for us, but the Metal will help to start to diversify our threats a little bit, and we will get to draw some cards. If everyone takes a prize here, putting us both down to 4 will not be terrible. And there's a Colress for 8. Gonna go ahead and refill our opponent's hand. opponent taking some time to think. There's the letter, so they will be able to get off the big attack, the Tidal Storm with the Primal Kyogre this turn if they choose to do so. And there we go. 4 energy, gonna go ahead and do 150 and then 30 to all of our benched Pokemon. And we are going to have a tough time dealing with it. I mean, only having 30 damage left on the Kyogre from the Rough Seas that can heal off next turn, so basically having a fresh Kyogre unless we can get the knockout this turn, which I don't think we can. Assuming that our opponent attacks, puts 2 energy somewhere else. Yeah, we still wouldn't be able to do it without some Metal Link shenanigans. This shouldn't matter for us, but that actually is a neat attack from them, allowing the basic Kyogre to use, or sorry, allowing the Primal Kyogre to use some of the basic Kyogre's attacks. And let's see here. Can we Ultra Ball away the 2 metals and then Russian Retreat? So let's see, we're bringing 2, 4, 6, 8, 100, 140, 180. So we would need to draw. Alright, let's go ahead and do this. I think we're going to take the risky play here. We do have the 3rd Bronzor, right? Yeah, okay. Evolve. And then before we make any other decisions, we can go ahead and end. And there's the double colorless, so we should be able to rush in. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So we can go ahead and just attach a DCE, Metal Links once. Is that right? Let's just double check what we've got here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20. No, we will need to attach again. And then we can Muscle Band here, Retreat, and X-Ball. So now we're at 2 prizes. This Mewtwo is almost assuredly getting knocked out, but we will be able to Metal Links 3 times onto the Aegislash, which isn't going to solve our problem quite yet, but I think that was the right line of play. There's possible that there was a better option, but I think clearing the board of that Kyogre and getting rid of 2 energy is helpful there. It's obviously very aggressive, but the way I see it is that our energy is not as relevant with Metal Links. We do have 3 Metal Links online, like I said. But certainly an aggressive play. Looks like our opponent has disconnected and now has 5 minutes to reconnect the game. So I guess we're going to sit here for the next 5 minutes until we see what happens. Never actually had this happen on PTCGO before. I don't know if our opponent is disconnected because of a legitimate issue. You know, sometimes PTCGO crashes, your internet goes down, your computer restarts, your computer has a problem, whatever it is, or if they've disconnected, as in some other online games where you disconnect as sort of a BM or bad manners, you know, they're upset that we're winning or upset that we pulled that off and want to disconnect as a, oh no, they reconnected, okay. So, looks like we're not going to get the easy win here, but at least we are going to get some gameplay action. Opponent promotes the Primal Kyogre. So yeah, returning back to the topic at hand, if our opponent has the double energy to attack here, get a knockout, we promote Keldeo. Metal Links 3 times on the Aegis Slash. Obviously I'm not talking about what we will for sure do, but just kind of running through our options. We can also promote Keldeo, grab... Oh, looks like our opponent disconnected again. Let's just pretend he's not disconnecting then. I'm assuming he's actually having some problems with the internet, so we can stick to the topic at hand. So if we go ahead and grab a Dialga, we won't be able to pull off the win there. Won't really put us any more ahead. We are up 4 prizes, which is a big game. Our opponent's going to take 2 here, almost assuredly, but that will give us another knockout, like basically another turn or 2 for our opponent to be built up. So we don't necessarily have to win the game next turn. They can take 2 prizes here. We can promote something, let that get knocked out. Although actually our opponent chooses, oh right, they can get the double knockout here. Wow, I didn't actually consider that. That's pretty big for them. That kind of undoes everything that I just said, and also cuts us off of having a free retreater. Although we do have the floatstone in hand, so let's go ahead and promote Bronzong. Attach a floatstone. We can max potion the Aegis Slash, and then I think basically what I'm wondering now is if it's safer to Juniper, draw a bunch of cards, and get something going, build up our board a little bit more, or just end to put our opponent to low amounts too. I think it's better to actually end because our opponent is going to need to draw a decent amount of cards next turn to do relevant things. You know, if they don't draw both waters, for instance, they're in a bit of trouble. Metal Links a bunch here. So let's see what our opponent drew. Luckily, here, if our opponent, even if they can attack or kind of do anything but heal, we can Lysander them, as long as they don't heal or find a way to knock us out this turn. Or I'm sure there's other things that they can do as well that I'm not considering, but we do have the Lysander in hand, which is big. Our opponent going to go ahead and Juniper. Or sorry, versus Eager for the Juniper. And they can also draw a Muscle Band to win the game here, assuming they draw the 2 water needed. And then the other attacks, I guess putting us asleep could be relevant, but actually that could be completely irrelevant. Just try and if they can't win the game this turn, try and put us to sleep and then Tidal Storm next turn. Ref sees healing, actually. It's a big game. Cuts off the attack I was just talking about, but does allow them to live through a possible Lysander attack unless we draw some more energy. There's a float stone in the third water, so does that mean they're not... Oh, he's going to go ahead and send up that Curum. So if we draw a water... Or sorry, if we draw a metal energy here, I think that will be game. So... So we can't... Sorry, just trying to think about what we can do to try and win this turn. If we... Lysander, we would need to try an energy, so we can't do that. We can Colress for 5, or we can end our opponent back down. Alternatively, let's take a look at our discard pile. Only one metal in there. I think we have to versus Seeker for an... Actually, we can versus Seeker for AZ, discard, and then reset, take the knockout. Yeah, that seems a lot better. Promote. Play. I'm running low on time, so I have to try and play a little bit faster. And because of the weakness there, we'll take the knockout. And we drew a Dialga. Our opponent actually not that much ahead of us on time, I guess, just about 45 seconds or so. And just trying to consider where our opponent can have here. They attach. Do they double attach? Okay, they do double attach. They're going to be able to get off the 150 this turn. We do have options at this point, though. We can attack with the Dialga next turn. Let's say our opponent attacks here. We can retreat the Aegislash into the Dialga. Obviously, I guess either way we need to find the win. The win here, but no, I guess that still doesn't solve it for us. Opponent's inactive. Opponent's kind of... Actually, our opponent only has less than a time to us now. They've been thinking for quite a while. This game shouldn't go more than, a turn or two, so hopefully they don't time out, but that's definitely a possibility. but can we go Chrono? So they attack us. We go Chrono Wind. We go retreat the Aegis Slash, play the Dialga, retreat the Aegis Slash. Oh no, actually, that won't work either. That was strange, not... They would take the knockout, but we don't... Gonna have to go back and watch that. I didn't actually see how we would lose there, but looks like we did. Interesting. So that's the metal deck for you. Looks like we lost in the semis. If I just missed something there, which is definitely possible, I was kind of in tunnel vision, I'll go ahead and add a annotation to the video. But thanks for watching. Unfortunately, kind of an unfortunate way to lose, but hope that shows you the power of the metal deck. I think it's pretty interesting. It's kind of a... I wouldn't call the deck slow, but definitely slower than a lot of the decks in the format right now. Kind of more built around, getting this engine set up through the first, 2, 3, 4 turns, and then just saying like, hey, look, I have Bronzongs. No matter what you do, even if you're trading favorably, I can attach 3 to 4 energy a turn, and you can't, so I'm probably going to win. So kind of a nice little deck. I like decks that have a solid engine like that and kind of a core of something to build to, and then once you build to it, it's very powerful. So thank you for watching, and I'll be putting up these videos hopefully a couple times a week. Tournaments are live all the time now on PTCGO, and I have tons of decks to explore in Standard and Expanded, especially with a new set coming out. So look for these videos a few times a week, and thank you for watching.